Welcome back, beautiful, beloved souls. This is mainly a commentary channel. My name is Gem Stone. I'm a psychic medium and I am an author. Now, on this channel, you will find that content varies. I look at anything and everything to do with life and death through a lens, hence the name of the channel. This commentary title is The Mystery of Human Eyes. What your eye color may and may not reveal. Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and wondered if they were telling a story that began thousands of years before they were born? Most of us think of eye color as simply another inherited feature, like hair color or height. But when you begin digging into the history of human eyes, you discover a subject filled with genetics, evolution, psychology, folklore, spirituality, and more than a few enduring mysteries. In this video, I want to step away from my usual subjects and explore one of the most fascinating parts of the human body, our eyes. Not just how they work, but why they come in different colors, why green eyes are so rare, whether eye color influences personality, and whether there is any truth behind some extraordinary claims made by researchers and spiritual communities alike. Let's begin. The world's most common eye color is brown. Around 70 to 80% of all people have brown eyes. Brown eyes dominate throughout Africa, Asia, the Middle East, Oceania, and much of South America. Blue eyes account for approximately 8 to 10% of the world's population. Hazel eyes occur in roughly 5%. Amber eyes are exceptionally uncommon, affecting around 1%. Green eyes are among the rarest naturally occurring eye colors on Earth, found in only about 2% of the global population. Grey eyes are even rarer, making up less than 1%. That means if you gather 100 random people together, statistically, only 2 people may have naturally green eyes. Immediately, that raises an interesting question. Why are green eyes so uncommon? To answer that, we need to understand how eye color actually works. Many of us learned a simple lesson at school. Brown is dominant, blue is recessive. If both parents carry blue genes, you can have blue-eyed children. That explanation is useful for introducing genetics, but the reality is considerably more complicated. Scientists now know that eye color is influenced by many different genes, not just one. The most important genes are known as the most important genes that are known are OCA2 and HERC2, but at least a dozen other genes contribute to the final result. These genes regulate how much melanin The pigment responsible for colouring our eyes is deposited within the iris. Brown eyes contain the highest concentration of melanin. Blue eyes contain very little. Green eyes sit somewhere between the two. Interestingly, green eyes are not actually green because of green pigment. There is no green pigment inside the iris. Instead, the iris contains a small amount of melanin combined with the way light scatters through microscopic layers of tissue. This phenomenon is similar to why the daytime sky appears blue. The colour isn't actually present. It is created by the interaction between light and microscopic structures. Hazel eyes are even more fascinating. Hazel eyes are not a separate pigment either. They contain various amounts of brown, gold, green, and sometimes blue. Depending on lighting, clothing, and surroundings, hazel eyes may appear green one moment, golden the next, and brown later in the day. Many people with hazel eyes report that others constantly disagree about what colour their eyes really are. One optometrist may describe them as hazel because of brown flecks, while friends insist they are green or blue. Some hazel eyes almost seem alive, shifting like seawater beneath changing skies. So, where did blue and green eyes originate? Genetic studies suggest that every person with naturally blue eyes may ultimately descend from a single ancient mutation that appeared somewhere around 6 to 10,000 years ago. The exact location remains uncertain, but many researchers place its origin near the Black Sea region or southeastern Europe. Green eyes appear to have developed later through combinations of several genetic variants rather than one single mutation. Unlike blue eyes, there is no evidence that every green-eyed person shares one recent common ancestor responsible for their eye colour. Instead, green eyes appear to arise when the right combination of genes come together. This is why green eyes occasionally appear in families that have never previously shown them for several generations. Now, let's address one of the strangest myths I have ever heard. Years ago, I read that Irish people developed green eyes because they ate potatoes. It's an entertaining story, but it falls apart historically. Potatoes were introduced to Europe only a few hundred years ago after contact with the Americas. Green eyes existed in Europe thousands of years before potatoes ever arrived. The Irish certainly have a relatively high percentage of blue and green eyes compared with much of the world, but genetics, migration, and natural selection provide far better explanations than diet. Throughout history, eye colour has attracted myths and superstitions. Ancient cultures often believed unusual eyes indicated magical abilities. Green-eyed women were sometimes accused of witchcraft. Grey eyes were considered mysterious. Blue eyes became associated with northern peoples. Brown eyes were often linked with strength and reliability. These ideas reflected cultural beliefs rather than scientific evidence, yet they continue to influence stereotypes today. Modern psychology has also explored whether eye color relates to personality. Some studies suggest tiny statistical differences in pain tolerance, alcohol sensitivity, or emotional perception among groups with different eye colors. However, these findings are generally weak, inconsistent, and often disappear when repeated by other researchers. In other words, your eye color is not your destiny. But one claim continues to circulate, that people with green eyes frequently report feeling like outsiders, that they somehow don't belong, that Earth feels unfamiliar. Interestingly, many people involved in spiritual communities, remote viewing circles, and experiencer groups describe exactly this sensation: feeling disconnected from society, feeling ancient, feeling as though they are observing humanity rather than fully participating in it. Is this because of eye color? Science cannot say that it is. Could there be another explanation? Perhaps. Maybe people with rare physical characteristics become more self-aware from childhood because they are frequently told they are different. Maybe personality traits influence how we interpret our uniqueness, or perhaps something we have yet to understand is occurring. At present, nobody knows. That uncertainty itself is fascinating. Then there is another controversial subject: iridology. Iridology proposes that different regions of the iris correspond with different organs of the body. Practitioners believe that markings, colors, and patterns reveal illnesses before symptoms develop. Supporters point to remarkable personal experiences. Critics point out that controlled scientific studies have generally failed to show that iridology reliably diagnoses disease. Medicine, therefore, does not accept iridology as a proven diagnostic method. Still, many people remain interested because of experiences they feel cannot easily be dismissed. Perhaps future discoveries will reveal relationships we do not yet understand. Or perhaps some observations are simply extraordinary coincidences. Either possibility deserves thoughtful discussion. One thing is beyond dispute: no two irises are identical. The colored ring surrounding your pupil contains hundreds of unique features. In fact, iris recognition has become one of the most accurate forms of biometric identification available today. Your iris is even more individual than your fingerprint, which raises another philosophical question. If every iris is unique, could it represent more than genetics alone? Throughout history, poets have called the eyes windows to the soul. Scientists call them remarkable biological structures. Perhaps both perspectives can exist side by side. Whether our eyes reveal only inherited DNA or something deeper remains an open question. When I look into someone's eyes, I don't see simply color. I see history, evolution, identity, questions that stretch back through thousands of generations, and perhaps just a hint of mystery that science has not fully explained. So, I'd love to hear from you. What color are your eyes? Have they changed throughout your life? Do they appear different depending on the light? Have you ever felt you didn't belong here? And if you have green or hazel eyes, have you noticed anything unusual about yourself compared with others? Sometimes the most ordinary parts of our bodies turn out to hold the most extraordinary questions. Perhaps our eyes are one of them. All right, I want to talk for a minute about my eyes. When I was growing up, I had grey eyes. Now, my eyes, I think my eye colour is, you know that the colour of seawater, the green? I call my eyes seawater green. But they can look blue sometimes in the light, and they can look black. They can also look grey. But when I went to the optometrist, he said my actual true colour of my eyes was hazel. And I'm wondering whether that's because in my eyes I have brown flecks. Now, my father, he had vivid blue eyes, and my mother more pale blue. But I'm going to show you a little bit closer up. What colour do you think my eyes are? To me, they're looking green today. Let me know. But yes, the optometrist said that I had hazel eyes, so they have changed because growing up, they were grey. All right, if you're going to drop a comment, can you do so respectfully? Thank you very much for watching, and I ask that you please be kind to each other. Remember, we are the universe experiencing itself. So every time you harm or hurt another, you are harming yourself. Smile at a stranger, you might just save someone's life. And thank you very much. Again, please take care of yourselves because you matter. You are precious, every one of you. Love, light, and blessings. And I really would love to see what your eye color is and how you feel, because I feel a wrongness. I've never felt like I belonged here. All right. I won't see you tomorrow. I've got an appointment. Take care.